Hey, hello everyone. Thanks for joining our webinar today. If you have any questions during the session, please submit via the Q&A button at the top of the interface. Those questions will be answered at the very end. This webinar will be recorded and you will receive a copy delivered to your email account. Hope you enjoy. And I'll now hand you over to our experts, Stefan Hoppe, President and Executive Director at OPC Foundation, and Michele Rossi, Product Manager Automation at the Qt Company. Over to you guys.
Thank you so much for the quick introduction. Hello, colleagues. I give you a very short introduction, not explaining OPC UA technology in detail. We find a lot of more interesting material somewhere else. This is more really what is going on in the future. The minimal update is OPC Foundation in one slide. We are a non-profit organization growing dramatically right now. Half of the members are from Europe. You see a very international board of directors with a really fantastic mix of companies from the IT world, like SAP, Microsoft, others, and the OT world, the automation world, from factory automation, but also process automation. Everything what we deliver is open and accessible, even you are not a member of the OPC Foundation. You get the specifications, the OPC UA specifications without a membership. You can go to the lab to certify your product without a membership. And you even get a source code, which is available on GitHub as open source. So the big question is, why should you be a member anyway of the foundation? And I have one slide later on that. Definitely, I believe that OPC Foundation is the largest ecosystem with toolkits, education, and so on to provide a real, secure, and reliable multi-vendor, completely independent technology, which is not dominated by single companies, to provide interoperability from sensor to the enterprise. And so it's a pleasure for me today here together with Qt to which is part of this large ecosystem, to give you some insights what's going on. One slide only on OPC UA. A lot of people mix up OPC UA as just another protocol, and we have so many, why do we need another one? And again, I'm not going into all the details, but you see here that you are starting from a completely different point of view. We are starting on the level of information model layer, where we provide and standardize data and interfaces. And below that, we have a communication layer, which provides two different communication mechanisms. One is pub/sub for cyclic quick communication. The other one is client-server communication. And below that, then we see the protocols, which means that OPC UA is extendable for future requirements, and which also means that inside the body of OPC UA, we have between 5-6 different protocols. So you can share data via TCP or UDP, but also MQTT. So MQTT is part of the body of OPC UA, but the benefit moving OPC UA data over MQTT, for example, is that data are standardized before. I will talk about that a little bit later in detail. The high-level overview is that the three pillars, which is the success of the OPC Foundation, I was talking about already about interoperability. On the right side, you see security, which is baked in by design. And it's not only transport layer, it's much more. It's auditing, encryption, and also accessing the data level. So there's much more inside. And then we have for me, the biggest value, the data modeling, where other organizations extend the OPC UA server by defining and bringing in their domain-specific knowledge. And so status of today, 50+ organizations from the discrete manufacturing, from process area, energy, have modeled their information. Again, I'm not diving here into detail, but as you see here, security is much more baked in than just the transport layer. It has configurable access rights for all the data and services, who is allowed to see and access what, with audit functionality and so on. That's all inside. It's public. It has been reviewed by security experts, and all that information is available on the OPC web. Overall, it's modeling of data. We no longer want to have a vendor description with huge documentation efforts, and people inside factories have to learn different hex codes which have different meaning from different vendors. Instead, a self-description of devices and services would be perfect. And this is exactly what we deliver with OPC UA, allowing that devices and services and machines can self-describe, give their capabilities, and this is readable by others. And that's exactly what's happening. And that's what we know from our consumer life anyway. I mean, everybody's buying a printer. The printer has standardized interfaces. That's standardized. But behind, still printers can differentiate because they might print in color or single side or double side, whatever. And that's exactly happening also in the industrial world. We have so-called companion specifications for different machines and devices. So OPC UA is the standard connector to all of these, and then they are providing services defined in companion specs, like I'm an RFID reader, I'm an injection molding machine, but still they can differentiate and even add additional value and services. So what's happening right now is that in the past, everybody had its own proprietary protocol in the lowest level. Then a lot of people used OPC UA as a protocol, but the real value is starting now with domain-specific harmonized information models. And that's exactly happening a lot in the world. If you see here the logos of all of our collaboration partners, all of them somehow integrated their domain-specific knowledge into OPC UA, independent from industries like pharmaceutical industry or oil and gas, or the HKI is industrial kitchen equipment. Sure, we are the starting point of the OPC Foundation was the process automation world. So Fieldcom Group and Namur and so on have mandatory requirement for OPC UA to support their PA-DIM information modeling, so which is a standard for process automation devices. And factory automation itself, for example, there are a lot of initiatives on the road, but even just the one logo VDMA is on the road with 17 groups defining information models for robots, for injection molding machines, for pumps, and so on. Out of this huge, large portfolio, I just selected 2 of them to give you a little bit deeper understanding. In history, when I was even young and studied a little bit robotics, that's an automatic forward, sorry. There was a robot, every robot had its own protocol, but now all robots have the same protocol, but also the same meaning of the data and the same behavior. And so it's extremely easy to have a dashboard here from Microsoft to have identical access to all the robots, and this has been shown first time live in mid-2018. So really the idea, how can we do plug and produce and reduce engineering efforts with integrated security? One other example, the AIM group, which is focusing on auto ID devices, they have implemented different signal types like RFID readers or optional 1D or 2D barcodes and so on. So you see multiple devices with multiple signal types from different vendors, but they agreed on one information model to access auto ID devices. So if you are a SCADA system, if you're an MES cloud vendor, if you're a PLC, you just have to implement once against this few OPC UA calls and variables, and out of the box, you are able to access to all of them immediately. I think it's a great example, again, how to reduce engineering efforts. If you want to get an overview about all the 52 groups, go to the OPC Foundation web and you see a small description, the chairmans, contact persons, and so on. Looking to the future of the automation, that was exactly the focus of the seminar, and I just listed 5 topics here. So what's going on right now from the point of the OPC Foundation? First of all, OPC combines 2 different worlds because the OPC UA technology internally has different communication mechanisms, client server and pub sub. And the reason for that is that the IT world for years is used to think in service-oriented architecture for a long time. They are calling methods, invoking methods, and providing data via method calls and transactions. Instead, the OT world, the automation world, on the lowest level, on the field bus level and I/O level, are more thinking in cyclic communication and input outputs and data, but not really on service-oriented architecture. And here we see the benefit of OPC UA being able to combine both technologies. So what we recognize is that all the companion specification which connect robots to the IT world provided method calls, service calls about their capability to the upper world. Second, service to service, because OPC UA is scalable from a smallest sensor up into IT enterprise and like SAP and an ERP system or Microsoft Azure Cloud and so on. Of course, OPC UA enabled devices allow to bypass all the strict levels which we had in the traditional automation pyramid. So as an example, the RFID scanner can directly send information to the MES or cloud and bypass, for example, the PLC or other stuff. On the next level, OPC UA definitely grows down into smaller hardware-constrained devices on chip level. This will happen. Microsoft recently announced their Azure Sphere chip, but even today, the smallest device, the smallest commercially available OPC UA server with stable capabilities really has a super small memory set requirements of what you see here with 240 kilobyte flash and a little bit RAM. So you see really it's scaling, and this was also a key decision factor for the industrial kitchen equipment suppliers. They have 13 industrial kitchen devices which they modeled, and the first devices will come out on this year, like industrial coffee machines where you see the status via OPC UA. And then we recently, last year in October, November timeframe, started a new initiative inside the OPC Foundation. It's called Field Level Communications Initiative. So this vision is really to go down even more into the world of automation, to cover completely all scenarios, all requirements of industrial automation. This explicitly means we want to combine horizontal communication between controllers of different ecosystems. So if you want to connect an ecosystem with a Profinet field bus system with a controller to an Ethernet IP or EtherCAT or whatever field bus you have, so you can horizontally share information between these in a deterministic way. We also go vertical down to motion, to IOs, to actuators. So we definitely have to. We are working with a team to provide optionally deterministic real-time, which will be provided via underlying TSN or 5G layer, but also functional safety and motion. Again, this team has just started. They are writing all the requirements. So this will take some time. You will not see really a certified product this year or next year. I don't believe that. The real challenge, what I see for the OPC Foundation, is on the next level to harmonize cross-domain information models. That's really a challenge, because you could assume that today all the different standardization bodies working on the standardization of a robot or injection molding machine or the RFID, of course, have some interfaces and data in common. And to harmonize that, this is really a challenge. To just give you a very small idea, of course, we have units and currency, what should be identical. Nearly every device needs a little bit software update or patch management stuff, alarm configuration, time synchronization, logging mechanisms, but also to the upper level, a robot and an injection molding machine have needs asset management APIs. Everybody needs OEA, overall efficiency interfaces, or energy management. I believe that every smart device in the future, of course, will have energy management, and of course, we want to harmonize that. So this is a real challenge for the OPC Foundation, and so I believe what is a real message from the foundation. At the end, we are acting a little bit like the United Nations of the industrial automation space. With status today, nearly 700, 680, 84 members status of today and growing quickly. It's a who is who from the IT and OT world. And the big benefit is we are independent. It's neutral ground to work together. And so in the future, if we continue with partners to write the description of things, then at the end, it will result in a huge, huge library, which is exactly required. If we talk about the Internet of Things, we have so many protocols, but we don't have a real good description of the things. And so with the help of the OPC Foundation and a lot of our partners, we are becoming the library of the description of industrial things. At least this is what is our vision for the future. With this, I'd like to thank again to be invited here for this great seminar with Qt. And I would like to hand over.
So thank you very much, Stefan. Can you confirm, are you seeing my presentation, right? So before to start, a quick introduction about myself. So I'm Michele Rossi. I'm a product manager at the Qt company for the automation industry. Just a quick introduction about Qt company today. We are a worldwide company, and our focus is to maintain and further evolve the Qt framework that has a really big history in the market today. And we count on a really nice and growing developer community, and we are focusing on providing more value in the future for the Qt framework. So our joint vision with the OPC Foundation is to provide a unified developer experience across all the use cases in automation. So here, for example, you can see some of the use cases in the factory automation, where we are focusing in providing a more reliable and more, I would say, a more user experience enhancement in terms of developer feature for all the automation use cases, starting from robot controller or AGV or machine vision or CNC machine. So all the type of use cases in automation, we try to provide a value with the Qt and Qt OPC UA module. Today, Qt is really widely used in automation use cases, starting from a SCADA system like supervisor desktop application or industrial touch panel. But also, if you think of configuration tooling, when you need to set up different type of embedded devices in your field, but also measurement and analytics, and not only factory automation use cases, but also process automation or building automation. These are the kind of installation we are seeing more and more in the automation field where Qt has been used. Our focus as a Qt company in automation is to be the framework for the edge devices. And jointly with the OPC Foundation, what we are working on is, of course, on the connectivity level. So we are providing more and more value in order to provide, from the Qt framework, a unified developer experience in order to retrieve information from the field or to send information, for example, to the cloud. Another important aspect for us is improving what is meaning as developer experience. So we are talking about tooling, so adding more value in our tooling like Qt Creator or Qt Design Studio. And where we are also looking into is not only the UI experience for our developers, but we are also looking into new use cases in the automation field, like, for example, headless devices. So we strongly believe that automation player are looking into different type of use cases, not only HMI application, but also, for example, gateways or PLC. And in this case, we are trying to provide more value within the Qt framework for the future in order to expand also the use cases for Qt. Another important aspect that we are seeing is the digital twin trend in the automation field, and that's why we are implementing a new feature and improving the tooling also toward the 3D visualization. And the important aspect we are also working into in terms of edge capabilities is the scalability aspect. So we are working in order to provide you one framework that can run from the big SCADA system, so a big control room, or running in the small MCU available in the market. So that's our focus in terms of product for the future in the automation field. In order to, underline this, we start working with the OPC Foundation, where we were building an interesting demo showing the capability of Qt and OPC UA. In this case, this demo is available online as a video if you want to further investigate into this capability. What is showing is that Qt is the focusing on in all the use cases in the automation with Qt OPC UA. So Qt can run in the industrial touch panel, Qt can run in the mobile, can run in the desktop, but also can run in the headless devices, thanks to the new product innovation we are working on these days. But the focus here is really understanding what we are looking into the future with the OPC UA. So it's important to highlight what we have done today with the OPC UA Foundation. So we start implementing one of our focus is to provide even more nice developer experience for our developer. And that's why we are working in providing understandable and easy to use API for your 4.0 industry application. So in this case, Qt OPC UA module is part of Qt for Automation add-on and allow you to reuse really nice API that are basically C++ API on top of two available backends, so Open62541 and Unified Automation, company we are working jointly together. And not only C++ API, but what is important to understand is that Qt allow you to create really easily a nice UI application also. And thanks to QML, we are providing QML API also on top of the Qt framework. Another important aspect we are working on for the next release is a security connection. So today, what is available as a use case with Qt OPC UA is a client application. So for example, if you think of industrial touch panel, if you think of SCADA system, that's the perfect fit with the Qt OPC UA module within Qt framework. But in the future, where we are looking into from feedback in the market is also makes sense for us provide a value also as a future outlook for OPC UA server connection. So provide reliable API also for the OPC UA server part. And this is something we are investigating today in the market, try to get more and more feedback. So if you are interested in this, please provide us feedback. So just to highlight what you can find today in the next release of the Qt for Automation 5.13 are C++ API available as data types, but also as a feature in terms of read but read. So today our focus was catching up between Open62541 plugin and Unified Automation plugin in order to provide you the seamless developer experience across both backend, but also in terms of data types. We want to provide you the easiest way to start creating an OPC UA application in the Qt framework. Not only C++ API we want to provide you, but we want also to enhance the way you are start creating QML application with Qt and Qt OPC UA. So that's why in the next release of Qt for Automation that we are calling still tech preview for the QML API, we are enhancing also in this case the feature related to the QML API for Qt OPC UA. All this information is important for you to know that are available in our documentation. So if you need specifically further technical information, please rely on our nice documentation online. So what I want also to mention are not only C++ API for the standard feature and the QML API, but also what we are working on is OPC UA security part. So in this case, I want to invite you in our next webinar that will be in 29th of May this month, where my colleague will show you what we are working on in terms of security API. So we are working on C++ API for secure transport. There will be still in tech preview in the Qt for Automation 5.13, and this aspect is specifically available today only for Unified Automation backend. And please provide us also feedback in terms of our implementation today. So that's what we are doing in terms of technology with OPC UA, and I want to highlight what is our focus in the future. So looking in the future in automation field with Qt. So what we are looking into is to provide you the seamless user experience for development across all the use cases in automation. So today you can start thinking of, so I'm an automation company. I have different use cases I want to provide in the market, like, I don't know, PLC, gateway, HMI, SCADA system. That's the majority of the automation company they are delivering different use cases. So within Qt, you can think of having one framework across all the use cases. So standardizing one framework, and of course, the nice developer experience you can find out of Qt, in order to create the seamless user experience for your customer across all the platform you are delivering on the market. And what is important to know is that more and more companies are also evaluating to basically standardize their own framework with the Qt framework. So mainly rebranding Qt or creating a nice framework out of the Qt solution in order to allow the system integrator, in order to allow their customer to create easily application with the Qt framework on top of their own platform they are delivering on the market. In order to create even more a nice user experience for developer, where we are working on are the tooling part. We are working on two tools in order to unify the developer experience in both 2D and 3D scenario. So one is Qt Design Studio that today allow you to import UI asset from tool like Photoshop or Sketch and create a QML code directly within the Qt framework. And the other tool that I want to mention is Qt 3D Studio, that allow you to create 3D animation directly within your Qt framework application. This is important to know because I see more and more trend in the automation outlook where the 3D part has been an important aspect in order to simulate, for example, production in the factory, or to simulate, for example, a robot controller still in the factory field. And this is also an outlook we are working on in the Qt. What I want also to mention is that Qt is the perfectly fit for the industrial touch panel use cases, for example. So you can think of using the Qt tooling part like Qt Creator or Qt Design Studio in order to create an easy way to standardize UI tool or UI framework for your industrial touch panel. Because it's important to know that Qt is not only a UI framework, but is also a complete framework, including also backend capabilities. So that's why we are working on OPC UA Foundation in order to provide you more and more a reliable API for the backend part in order to create seamless UI HMI application directly for your industrial touch panel. Another important aspect that I want to underline even more for the focus we have in the Qt company in order to provide you a standard way to cover all the use cases in automation is what we are doing for the web. So today you can think of standardizing Qt across all the use cases, also because we are working on a technology called Webassembly, and Webassembly allows you to run a C++ application directly in the browser. So a scenario can be like the one I'm showing you in this slide. Basically, you can think of also standardizing Qt not only for the industrial touch panel use cases, as I was mentioning before, but also for your gateway, thanks to the Qt OPC UA module, but also with the Qt for WebAssembly integration. So if you are interested in understanding what we can do together, if you are looking for future outlook within the Qt framework for your use cases, we can support you starting from the strategy planning that you are having internally your company, but also supporting you on the maintenance and the deployment on your device. So what we are looking into to support you is, of course, on the strategy decision and innovation. So helping you in the future outlook we are seeing together in the automation field, but also provide you more and more I would say, time to think of your own focus in the market. So basically helping you in the concepting, in the protocol tooling, or if you have specific need in terms of connectivity, we can help you also in the concepting phase of your application, but also in the prototyping phase, we want to support you in terms of development service. The most important thing is, of course, what we want to provide you is a reliable solution when you need to think of all the maintenance in terms of your Yocto receipt, for example, or all in your development process. This is something our focus as a Qt company want to be also for your application. So I was talking about our focus in automation, but I want also to share with you why today companies in automation are selecting Qt. In this case, and of course, Qt with the OPC UA Foundation, because we were asking this to an external company called Forest. In this case, they were running a Forest Total Economic Impact study. And the result in a composite organization outcome out of this research is that companies in automation selecting Qt technology and, of course, OPC UA, they find important savings in terms of hardware savings, thanks to the Qt capability running everywhere and running also in lower hardware in terms of same performance achievement with the software part, and of course development saving, because you can think of sharing one framework across different teams and across different development team. And the result of the return of investment for the companies you can see in the picture in the bottom of the slide. So if you are interested, trying to test what we are doing with Qt and the OPC UA Foundation, please have a try on the Qt in the automation scenario. So here there is the direct link. If you want to try, directly download our Qt framework for the automation part. And we are always looking into feedback in order to understand what is your opinion about our job and what we are trying to provide for you as a developer experience in the automation field. So I want to thank you, all of you, joining our webinar today. I want to thank you also, Stefan, for his presentation part. And please, if you are interested in understanding more also about what we are doing with the OPC Foundation, please subscribe to the newsletter in the OPC Foundation website. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Michele and Stefan. Now, if you have any questions, please submit them using the Q&A box at the top of the interface. I think we have our first question. Juan is asking, are you considering contributing into Open 62541 library to increase Qt OPC UA capabilities like alarms and conditions?
So I think it's a question for me. In this case, we are partnering with our partner ecosystem in order to provide more capabilities on top of Open 62541 backend. In this case, as a Qt company, we are focusing on providing more value within the Qt framework and within the Qt API, of course. But all the feedback we are getting from the market, with all the experience we are improving more and more with all the use cases we are facing, allow also us to work with partner in order to improve the Open 62541 backend. So I would say indirectly something we are working on, yes.
Okay, there's no more questions at the moment. I know someone raised their arm. Unfortunately, we don't have that functionality at this webinar, so if you wouldn't mind entering your question through the Q&A box at the top of the interface. Are there any kind of frequently asked questions that you could cover here, Michele and Stefan, maybe, or any kind of relevant information?
Yeah, that's a good opportunity. Thank you for that. What I didn't cover in my presentation, to really save some time and just give a very short, quick overview, is that there are even good tools which are available to test if you write with your Qt environment, you are a server or client. There are tools which you can also get from the OPC Foundation. It's called a CTT tool, and so there's a lot of material to get familiar. I only can really encourage you here to be proactive, contact your Qt contact person and start on that, because OPC UA is set for the Industry 4.0 initiative, and you will find nearly no device which does not provide this technology. So if you want to talk to the digitalized world, you need to become as quick as possible, more and deeper familiar with the Qt OPC UA environment here and the capabilities and so on.
Great, thank you. We have another question from Romano. Is it possible to use Qt for automation library last release with older versions of Qt, for example, 5.9?
So this is something not specifically possible in terms of what we are releasing. Basically, is every release of Qt for automation is specifically fitting for a Qt release. So that's our main focus, also because there are some dependencies sometimes. But if you have a specific question, as I was showing in my previous slide, we can of course support you directly importing maybe some part that you are interested into in your Qt application. So if you have specific needs for your application, please contact directly us so we can discuss directly about this requirement.
Great, thank you. We'll wait for a few moments longer for any more questions. Okay, there is a new one. Are there any plans to support some other automation protocols in Qt, NDP3, for example?
So this is something basically is always a frequent request from all the webinars we are running. So our main focus today is really provide reliable focus on OPC UA module, because we strongly believe that will be the standard in the future, of course, in the factory, but also in the process automation part. So that's where is our main investment today in terms of our R&D investment. But of course, we are also open to to expand our focus in the automation field, and this is something we are always investigating in terms of market coverage, so which are the most important protocols. And as I was mentioning before, so if you have specific requirement for a specific protocol, this is something we have already done in the past for other users or for other companies, and so this is something that we can discuss directly together. So feel free to reach out to us.
Okay, thank you. And then Maurizio, I'm already familiar with the Unified Automation SDK. How, I'm not sure if I'm understanding the question. How, I think it says, how is the UA Qt API different from the Unified Automation SDK?
Yeah, so our main focus is to provide an easy way for the Qt user to start in zero time using the two backend I was mentioning before. So if you are familiar with Qt, and if you are familiar with our nice API, then you have the seamless developer experience within the Qt framework, also for using the unified automation backend part. So that's our main focus. As I was presenting before, we have a list of all the features supported, both for OP6541 and for unified automation. And then basically you can, think of trying the Qt for automation, Qt OPC UA API, in order to understand if this is also something you understand as a value, in order to start in zero time, in order to develop your Qt application with Qt OPC UA module.
Okay, we have no more questions for today. We'll again give it a few more moments in case there's anyone typing. But in the meantime, I'd really like to thank again Stefan Hoppe and Michele Rossi for today's webinar. And I think that is all the questions we have for today. So thanks everyone for joining. If you do have any more questions that we didn't go over or that you'd like to ask after the webinar, please send us an email at info@qt.io and we'll answer them for you. Like Michele said, we have some more automation related webinars coming up, so please check them out on our website. But until next time, I wish you a great day. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.